10 people on. Now, it is rough out here today. Well, the wind stops and it gets glass calm, and then all of a sudden, boom, got 20-mile-an-hour wind. They were biting pretty good, though. They're kind of scattered. They're out deep. I was about ready to get one on that outside one. I lost it. As soon as I get the full one with this one, I'm going to catch another one. I guarantee you. That's what it's been all morning. Every time you get ready to do something, boom, you start catching them. But I'm pushing minnows using a double rig. I just switched over and started using braid. I don't know. I can't make up my mind whether I like it or I hate it. I'm not sure. I tried it one time before and I did not like it. White bass ain't been doing too bad either. I caught quite a few white bass this morning. Hammers. 12-foot rod and a 2-pound white bass, man, that's a fight. Yeah, we're fishing for a crappie. As soon as I get this one fixed back up, we'll get the movement again and go hit a point over here. Yeah, I don't know. I've never used fluorocarbon. I've been a mono guy forever. I switched over and started using braid. And one thing I noticed about the braid, man, they hit it. And if they don't hook good somewhere in a bony part of the mouth, it just seems like they break right off. So I don't know. I'm new to braid. I'm running 15-pound spider wire with a 4-pound diameter because I wanted something that was going to break fairly easy, and it does. It works really good as long as you got Aberdeen hooks. You can get the Aberdeen hooks to bend out, kind of save you a little bit of trouble. I'm kind of on the fence whether I like it or not. I'm not 100% positive yet. What's y'all's opinion on it? Which one y'all like better? So I know there's a lot of guys that fish braid, and that's their thing. That's all they'll fish with. I want to see the benefits of it. And I might end up changing it to where I'm doing a maybe a mono leader eventually, maybe. I don't like the downtime of having to tie back on a leader. Know what I mean? But it don't seem horrible. I can't say right now that I absolutely hate it. I've heard that braid needs to have either mono or fluoro leader. It's kind of what I'm thinking too. I'm using the spider wire 15-pound with 4-pound diameter. Fishing live minnows, pulling 2 of them. Kind of like a drop sinker. 2 hooks right above it. We'll get this one back in the water and get to moving and get back out on this point where we were catching fish at. I see that's what I've always been to. Cajun Creations is always used mono. I just kind of want to see if it lasts longer, if it's more durable. But I really think I probably should have went with maybe a heavier diameter and went with mono leader. But like I said, if I'm doing a guided trip and I got 3 guys in a boat and I break leaders, I don't really want the time of tying leaders back on. But I know when you're vertical jigging, I noticed that this morning, man, you can almost feel them look at that line. Yeah, Donald, that's what I've always used too, exact same thing. Either the Mr. Crappie brand or Trilene XL. Both of those have been good. And actually, I started using the Vicious, and it wasn't bad either. But I could not get them. I caught one on a jig this morning, and that was it. I could not get them to touch jigs. I got back out here in deeper water and found some schools of them and just started drifting minnows over top of them. And actually, I was wanting to hang the braid up. I mean, I know it sounds dumb to go on a trip and hoping you're going to get hung up, but I did. I wanted to get it hung up and see how big of a disaster that was going to turn into. Use braid for stripers and sand bass. Yeah. All right, let's get the boat moving again. Let's get somewhere where there's some fish at. Mark, good morning, buddy. How are you? All right, let's get moving. There's a point over here. I want to hit this point and go out along that old river channel and then come back across the mouth of this cove if I can do it without getting hung up. The lake's up like, I want to say close to 7 foot. Might be a little less, might be a little bit more. I really think you're going to get more benefits of braid casting and vertical jigging. But like I said, I mean, if you're using a good Aberdeen hook, you can grab a hold of that braid and bend that hook pretty simple. So could I be saving on hooks? But man, once you hang that sinker up, you're done. You're gonna break it off because that sinker won't come off. And there's I don't think you can see the screen. I'm sitting over top a bunch of old dead logs, and there's like tons of fish on it. And that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been getting over top structure, just hovering over top of it and just moving back and forth. Yeah, I've already felt a few frays in it. But not having a stretch to it, what I have noticed is I've had a bunch of really hard, quick bites this morning. And I'm kind of wondering if the crappie are hitting it and pulling it and just ripping it straight out of their mouth. The Aberdeen hooks, you can find them at Walmart. Eagle Claw brand's what I usually get. They're gold colored and it should say Aberdeen on them. They bend really easy, but they're strong. You would think if you had something that was metal that bend and bend and bend, it's eventually going to break. But those Aberdeen hooks, I don't know, they bend and it comes back out and you can straighten them back out. Centrifuge, it's kind of frayed, just looks like hell. I went with spider wire. I tried one before and I did not like that stuff at all. So I went with the brand that actually kind of started Braid. Or that's what I remember when Braid got big, it was spider wire. Spider wire was the one everybody was using. So I figured if I went with something that was good, that might help. Yeah, the Aberdeen hooks have got me out of trouble a couple times this morning. And we might have hit that time of day where it just slowed down. It shouldn't. I just think I missed my spot. I got hung up, caught a couple fish, tried to get YouTube on, straightened out, got hung up again. So I can't remember the first brand I used. The first one, whatever it was, I remember I did not like it. I only put it on a couple rods just to see. Yeah, the spider, like I said, it seems like they were the ones that came out with it first. So I didn't, not just going after the most expensive brand. I just figured you're gonna get, I'm sure they know how to make braid. Kind of, I guess, what I'm saying. Yeah, Mark, I don't see a lot of benefits in it. I don't think fishing like this, you're going to see the benefits in it. Yeah, that's all I buy. Eagle Claw, Gold, Aberdeen hooks when I'm crappie fishing. You got kids or you're in a spot where you're going to get hung up a lot, the Aberdeen hooks are saver, lifesavers sometimes. We should be back into them here in a second. We're about back in that spot. I think. Mark says he uses mono for casting and braid for vertical. Yeah, I felt like I said, you could feel that initial bite or something like that. All right, Mark, we'll see you later. Y'all hang on. We're about ready to get right back into that spot. This time when I hit it, I'm going to hit spot lock so I can clear back somewhere I don't want to be. Using a 12-foot rod. It's a 12-foot Outlaw Pro SEs. Tons of fish under us. It could be white bass. The white bass are pretty thick out here. It seems like today I've caught quite a few white bass. I just had a tap on that front one. Boom, boom, boom. Slowed up, man. It was back to back there for a little bit. And the good thing about this spot we're coming up to, the bank just goes straight out all the way to the channel, and I think that's what makes the spot up here so much better. The only bad thing about it, there is a lot of snags on it. Now, I was really worried about that with using the braid now, is getting snagged. White bass makes for good tater chips. I don't mind white bass. It's water, until the water hits 80 for a few weeks, I don't really keep the white bass that much. As long as the water's under 80 and stays that way, it seems like the fillets come out better. They're a little wider. Yeah, there's no doubt. That's the way it always... Ooh, there's one. Was one. Man, as soon as I let off that control, the wind got me. I didn't record a path, and I should have. Maybe. I don't know. The lake being up, kind of scattered them. The ones I've caught today, I caught one. I got one or two females that look like they're spawned out, and a couple males that still got just a little bit of black on them. but it's going to be a good year with the lake coming up like that. It's going to be a good spawn year for sure. A lot of the fry off this one should make it. Yeah, I started with jigs this morning and I could not get a bite on the jig, so I went switched over and started using minnows. I hate doing that. I like days where it's just bam, 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 all on my jigs. Some days you just got to give up and give them what they want if you're trying to put fish in a freezer. And somebody with live scope might say they're just the exact opposite. They caught them all on jigs today. I'm on the opposite end of the lake that I normally fish. I had to come all the way up this way to get minnows. Instead of driving all the way back, I just put in up here. And this hasn't been my favorite spot this year on Pomme de Terre. So if you're watching right now, there's 25 people watching. Everybody hit that thumbs up. Try to get us back to the spot. I'm going to have to book it a little bit to get out of the wind. Yeah, we got like 5 or 6 in the live well. And then once I turned the camera on and got YouTube up and rolling, I can't find them now. The wind's kind of blown me off of them here the last half hour or so. There's a big school of them right underneath of us. It never fails, too. Hey, no problem, Mike. Like I said, it never fails. I turn the camera on, the fish quit. Camera looks dirty. Still looks kind of dingy. I mean, it's just hit or miss on the schools this morning. You find a school. Find the schools, though. The schools are moving. I'm not seeing shad on the top or anything like that, but I'm just running across a school here, a school there. I feel like I've been doing good and deep. Oh, that's what I did this morning. I started out shallow, beating the brush, seeing if some of them crappie were still up there. I couldn't find none of shallow, so I'm sitting in right now 25 foot of water following the creek channels back out from where they've been spawning. Like I said, up until I turned YouTube on, they were doing pretty good. I actually figured I'd probably limit out pretty quick. And you look at the screen and you just hit a barren wasteland. Yeah, it's a beautiful day to fish. Those big high clouds. The sky is beautiful this morning. Got it for show. Now I could either cut left and go back across the mouth of this cove or go back out on the main lake and hit that drop-off bank. Decisions. Wasn't nobody on the lake about an hour ago, man. Boats just started rolling in. How do I know which spot to reel them fishes? I just hunt down the schools and try to pick them off. Sometimes if it's a big stationary school, I can hit spot lock, just kind of hover over them and drop jigs on top of their heads and catch them. I think a lot of this I'm seeing on the screen is probably white bass, sand bass. If I ain't got nothing here in just a couple more minutes, we'll go and shut it off. Maybe I'll hit another school. Ain't sure. Ain't sure. Everybody hit that thumbs up. It helps. YouTube pushes my stuff. This is the longest stretch I've gone without catching a fish. Imagine that. Imagine that. Ain't got something to do with YouTube. Here the boat's coming. Thanks, Mike. Here's the thing about it. It's great knowing I got to go in and work for somebody else. What's stressful about this is making sure I'm still keeping money rolling in. Half the morning I was out here, I was actually doing commercials for other products. So I spent probably 2 hours trying to get videos, trying to make sure I got reception somewhere. It's a different kind of work. A lot of people that do social media stuff, they say, oh, it's so hard, it's so hard. They haven't done what I did for a living, what most of us do, you know, go in a factory, welders, hammers, heat, paint. To me, it's fun work. It's enjoyable work. I'd really like to get the guiding up and going a lot more. I like taking people fishing. I love watching other people catch fish. I know a lot of people said, yeah, you start getting into that, it's going to make fishing where fishing's not as enjoyable as it used to be. To me, it is. I love watching somebody catch a big fish, whether it be a crappie, bass, carp, you know, whatever. Something that's big and puts up a fight, and I can see the look in their face that how much fun that was for them. That's what makes me like doing this, and that's what makes me want to get the guiding up and going good. I like to get the YouTube up and going good too. Messing around with TikTok, I haven't had a lot of time to put back into YouTube, and I feel like my YouTube channel is kind of failing because there's only so many jigs you can tie on camera. You know, there's a lot of people I know that like to watch me tie jigs, but once you learn it, and it's hard to keep that content up and going. I was getting a bite on that one. It feels like they want them moving faster than what I'm moving, but then they're just biting and letting go. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. Get up kind of shallow. We're gonna run back out toward the mouth of this cove. I'm gonna let the wind kind of push us out that way. I didn't realize I got up that shallow to the bank. I'm running 10 to 15 foot. Bronson Cox, North Georgia. Well, thank you, Bronson Cox. a subscriber, a paid subscriber to my channel. Thank you for dropping in this morning. Thank you for getting that. I appreciate that. Once the weather gets a little more stable and everything kind of lines out and we start going from late spring into summer, hopefully I can be back on the lake and do a lot more videos. I'm working on getting a little better camera, and a little better setup, and how my rods are all set up just to make it a little bit easier to watch. Man, there is a huge school right there. It's impressive how big that school of fish is. I'm gonna try to stop right on top of their heads and see if we can't get one off that school. Pretty sure there's a big, huge tree right there, and it's just got fish scattered all over it. Guy had live scope. I bet that's probably one of the biggest schools you ever going to see right there. It's a big ball of shad with a bunch of white bass pretty much circling. There are white bass all over the spot on that one. Man, that sucks. There should have been fish on top of that one. And that's how I'm gonna run live for just a few more minutes. Unless I end up getting into a big school of them, and I'm not seeing them. It kind of looks like they shut down. This lake is notorious for that early morning bite and then having to work your butt off to try to get anything else. If I can get out on it, might be stocked the next week and start going after some walleye. Well, I'm going to end this live. Thanks, everybody, for dropping in and watching. Check out Outlaw Rods, fishoutlaw.com. 12 footers is all I'm using today. Man, I can't believe they just, this is no kidding. I turned YouTube on and they just stopped. Just totally stopped. But I'm going to get off here. Thanks, guys, for watching. I appreciate y'all joining in. Hit that thumbs up.